G'day folks, Parkera here and welcome to another FM Predicts. This will be the third in the series so far. We've covered England, we've even covered the English Cups. Today, pretty straightforward, nice and simple. We are covering Germany and specifically the Bundesliga and the German Cup as well, maybe the Super Cup. So, nice and simple. These in front of you are the odds, pre-season odds as at the beginning of the season. We are up until June 2020, so the season's gone. I've just holidayed as I have done in the previous episodes. And you can see here the odds were, of course, Bayern Munich to heavily favoured, and then Dortmund, and then Bayer Leverkusen, Schalke. So, standard really. And relegation and all the bottom three were supposed to be FC Paderborn, Union Berlin, and Fortuna and Düsseldorf. So those teams were predicted to finish bottom three anyway. So without further ado, let us have a look at how the season finished for them. And as you can see, not really too much of a surprise. FC Bayern Munich, 2 points though, on crown champions, followed by Borussia Mönchengladbach, Frankfurt, Borussia Dortmund rounding out the Champions League spots, Bayer Leverkusen, Schalke and Leipzig finishing off UEFA. And down the bottom, Freiburg and Fortuna Düsseldorf. So Düsseldorf were one of the three that were predicted to finish in the bottom, and they did. Werder Bremen and Cologne really surviving only because of the goal difference that they had over Fortuna. So it was squeaky bum time, I would say, for those clubs. We can see here that player ratings, goal-wise, Andre Silva from Frankfurt, 20 goals, followed by Marco Reus, 17, who was equal with Lewandowski from Bayern Munich. Figo from Munich, 7.44 average rating, and Jadon Sancho, heavily talked about young English kid, 7.36 there, and Marco Reus from Dortmund as well. Assists, Havertz from Bayern, Camby from Leipzig, and Cologne's Kahns as well. Please feel free to help me with pronunciation on these. It's going to get interesting, especially when we get into Italy and we get into Spain. Player of the match was Kai Havertz from Bayern, Sancho from Dortmund, second equal with Cohen Castis from Wolfsburg. Clean sheets, you can say there, Neuer, obviously top of the pops there with Trapp from Frankfurt as well, rounding out there, and also the yellow cards you can see. In terms of management movements, well, that should be interesting. Let's just have a look at some of the past winners. I'm not sure we did this for the English ones. Pretty straightforward. Most of you will know domination by Bayern Munich as well. Complete and utter domination. So no surprise there. Well, let's have a look at these movements from the managers as well. So we'll start with Werder Bremen here. A club that's quite known over here in New Zealand, mainly because of Brinton Rufer. Probably our first really international superstar we had, who played in one of the big leagues in Europe back in the early 80s, in the World Cup in 81, 82. Was it 82? Yeah. So that's, a lot of people know that club over here in Leelau, New Zealand. So the manager there, Florian, he was sacked because of poor results, and he was oh, these names. He was replaced by Tedesco. We'll just say that. Freiburg got rid of Christian Streich because of poor league position. He was replaced by Manuel Boom. Cohen got rid of Archim, and he was replaced by Dardai because of the players lost confidence in him. Oliver Geisner was replaced by Javier Aguirre because of league position from Wolfsburg. Düsseldorf sacked because of relegation in May. Their manager Funkel, Harold Funkel, and Hoffenheim Alfred, he was sacked, yet to be confirmed as to reasons why, and Dieter Hecking was his replacement. So that is nice and easy Japanesey. Let's have a look-see now at the German Cup, shall we? And we're back, and I found it, the DFB Pokal Cup, the German Cup. Please definitely correct me if I am wrong, but definitely the pronunciation will be Kaka. But let's get into this. So we have Oh, okay. So we are starting off in the quarterfinals here. So Hoffenheim beaten 2-0 by Karlsruhe from League 1, League 2 Bundesliga. Mönchengladbach beating Hanover 96 3-2. Mainz going through 2-1 over Bayern Leverkusen. And this team are losing 2-1 to Bayern Munich there. So we go now to the semi-finals here. We can see that Mönchengladbach went through on penalties after a 2-2 draw there. Mainz losing 3-2 to Bayern Munich. So we have a look at the final. Pretty straightforward, nice and easy, but a surprise. Borussia Mönchengladbach beating Bayern Munich 2-0 in the final. 6th and 9th minute goals. 2 early goals. Really surprising. Bayern, obviously, they had more possession. They definitely had, they had less shots on target though, and slightly more shots. So really, they just did nothing with what they had. So good win there, 2-0 for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Let's have a look here at the overview, and we can just show you the stats there. Most goals, Bolo from Gladbach, Verhoek from Rostock, and Thiago from Bayern. Hummels from Dortmund, Everton from Hamburg, and Krishkov. And we've got for assists, we've got Havertz from Bayern, Ozil from Mainz, and Stindl from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Oh my goodness. And for Player of the Match awards, you can see those there with the clean sheets and yellow cards. Oh lordy, Miss Claudie, I tell you what, we're going to go have a quick look at one more cup. I think it's the German Super Cup, which it's just like the European, the Community Shield. Won't be seen. And there you go, you can see that Bayern Munich 1-0 winners over Borussia Dortmund. We cannot, for some reason, it hasn't happened yet. So that happened way back in August the 4th, but for some reason I cannot view the full fixture details. Let's have a look. Can I do it there? No, which is interesting. Probably something to do with beta and the German leagues, because I did also only just load the Bundesliga in this, but I thought with Borussia Dortmund also being in the final, it shouldn't really matter. But you can have a look there with your stats anyway. Goals, Lewandowski, first equal 1 goal. I mean, the stats not really worth looking at because it's a one-off game. Again, kind of a meaningless competition. So that is Germany, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages. I don't believe there's anything else that we need to cover for this at all. So hit me down below if you have any leagues that we'd like to see. Again, like I'm going to mention, I will be looking at the big ones, which I consider, which is Spain, Spain and Italy next. I will probably touch on France and maybe Holland, and I'm definitely going to be touching on Scotland as well. Scotland, I'll be looking at the Championship and the Premier League, just because of the dynamics, and a lot of teams can drop down into the Championship, and it's kind of a major stepping stone in my opinion, having played with Clyde last season. And Italy and Spain would just be the top league, Serie A and La Liga as well. But like I said, I've got to save we're beginning of the season, so I can add more leagues, and so it's not an issue. Just let me know down below, and I'll happily do it. I think I'm probably going to look at doing the Australian Hyundai A-League as well, because the Phoenix. Alright folks, jibber enough. If you hit this like button, if you like, subscribe and comment down below. I'm kind of all recorded out. I've been doing a lot today. I've been doing more recording than playing this game, but I'm enjoying it. Alright folks, I am Parkera. Kia kaha.